Hey everyone, it's your host, Micah Hill, back with another Eagle interview. And today we have Damola Aikulola here with us, our SGA Vice President. So first off, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thank you for having me this morning.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and the things that you do here on campus.
My name is Damola Aikulola. Like Micah said, I am a pre-law political science major with a minor in criminal justice. I am from Lagos, Nigeria. I am the SGA Vice President. A lot about SGA is about advocacy, involvement in community service, and then I really want to be someone that can advocate for people, and that's why I decided I want to be the Vice President, to be somewhere in a place where I can make sure that I can make meaningful change.
Okay, nice pitch, nice pitch. So you said you're from Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. What's that like?
Well, I am from a family of 4. I have 2 brothers, one older, one younger, and a younger sister. And then my family was really close. It's more of like a really close nuclear family. And then we have this whole passion about being meaningful, doing meaningful change in the world. And we always have something saying that, okay, whenever we start something, we have to make sure that we finish it. And I think it's helped me a lot with growing up and growing in life.
I love that. So you said you're a political science major.
Yes.
Would you say anyone in your family influenced you to take on that career?
Unfortunately not. When I graduate, I'm going to be the first lawyer in my family. And even though they haven't directly influenced me, they have indirectly influenced me to make sure that I keep on pushing and being the best I can.
Period. I love that he said when he graduates, period. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your journey with SGA. How did you start off? What was your first position at SGA, and how did you work your way to the vice president position?
So when I first joined SGA, I joined as a senator in my sophomore year. When I joined as a senator, Logan Boudreaux, who was the vice president, made me the chairman of the Committee of Health and Wellness. And that really puts me in a leadership position, you know, seeing the background, seeing the behind the scenes of how SGA works and how Senate works. Also, as I was working up, you know, making sure that I was involved with SGA, Logan saw that I had a passion to be a leader. And so when elections turned around, he came to me and asked me if I want to run for vice president. And I thought, well, that's an amazing idea. Why don't I become vice president? So I think it was a great idea, and I've loved every moment of it.
Period. And what was your campaign? Like, what was your slogan? Did you have one for your campaign?
Didn't have a slogan. It was more about just making sure that everyone had a place where they felt like they belonged.
I love that. And what does a typical day of vice presidency look like for you?
A typical day, you know, classes, after classes, we have office hours, so where we have spent at least 8 hours a week in the office space. And so like that office hours, I really love being there because I can be talking with people like the senators, SGA members, and then usually I have meetings with Dr. Damola or some OIL hubs to see how we can make a change in the USM.
Nice. And what would you say is your proudest accomplishment of being a part of SGA? I know there might be many.
there are a few, many, but then I think my proudest accomplishment, besides being vice president, was probably the legislation I passed, which was to make sure that, which was like a resolution to recommend to Armac to open the fresh shop during spring break, which I'm hoping gets passed and, you know, gets like into work sooner or later.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And what made you want to pass that legislation?
So since I'm an international student, I don't really have anywhere to be during spring break, and then the fresh is usually closed, which is the main source of like my food during spring break. So I was like, you know what, I can't be like starving during spring break. So I was like, you know, let me just pass something and let me recommend it to them to make sure that they felt like, so that they could like improve some is, and then so like the people that stay behind have somewhere to get some food.
That's such an important initiative, and I'm glad that you, as an international student, saw the need and voiced the need. You said that you're a part of the Senate, so you are over the Senate, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so with that, what would you say is, how could someone get involved in being a part of Senate? How can someone become a senator? What's the application process look like?
So usually we put out some applications right at the end of the spring semester, and then sometimes we have rolling applications. But the main applications are at the end of the spring semester where you can apply, and then after that you get it back from me or whoever's vice president, and then you go to the interview process. After the interview process, you get voted into the Senate. So the current Senate members have to vote you in. to say like, okay, yeah, you can be a senator. And then from there, you can just make any resolution you want, a bill or a legislation to just like improve student life, basically.
So really anyone can make a difference if they really
Anyone
want
can,
to.
yes.
How would you say you and President Leah Johnson work together effectively for the student body?
We work perfectly together. I feel like some of the ideas I've come from like her, and some like resolutions that I've had to like pass in Senate. She's loved my ideas. It's like, and also she's always there at Senate meetings. So I think we're like a really tight group, you know, Vice President, President.
Yeah.
So like, we've amazing team work.
If you could be SGA president for the day, what would you do? What would you change? What would you say?
First thing I would change is the office space.
Mm.
I'd make Leah's office, which would be my office,
Okay.
a lot better if you ask me.
Okay.
But then, you know, being serious, I think I'll try to act some more like initiatives and like, you know, a lot of things that we've seen recently of a lot of people feeling like they've been neglected, a lot of minorities feeling like they've been neglected. I feel like I'd push a lot more. I'm not saying that Leah's not doing the best she can right now. I feel like I'd be a lot, you know, since I'm also a minority, I'd be a lot intentional with it.
I love that. And what are we looking for? Like, what's your plans next year? So we have nominations coming up, or elections coming up, I should say, in the spring, right? So what are your plans in the spring? What should we be looking forward to from you?
So I might be going back to back, you know,
Okay.
Vice President, second time.
Okay.
But I'm still weighing my options, you know. Might decide to run for president,
Okay.
Vice President. I also want to be somewhere where I can make sure that I can make meaningful changes. And since my senior year, I'll make sure that I can leave Salamis better than I found it.
I love that. And then last thing, what's some advice you want to give students that want to get involved in SGA or just have an impact on campus in general?
An advice I'd give students is that you don't have to be in a leadership position. You don't have to be a senator. You don't have to be the SGA vice president, the SGA president. You don't have to be a president of an organization. You can make a difference on campus. You know, write us a suggestion you want, or you can just go over to one of the IO-ups and tell them that, okay, like you feel like you're being neglected, or you want to make a club about like a place that where you and your friends could feel among, you can make an organization. I also want to make sure that people know that you don't have to be a person in leadership position for you to make a change. You can leave Salamis better than you found it just by existing.
Anyone can be a leader.
Anyone can be a leader.
Thank you so much, Damola, for coming on to Eagle Interview. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Going to Eagles, for tuning in to another episode of Eagle Interview. I'm your host, Micah Hill, signing off.